The door to her office swung shut behind me with a soft, final tick, like the latch on coffin. I stood there, heart hammering against my ribs, watching as Elena's fingers trembled over the envelope I'd just placed on her desk. Her eyes, usually sharp and commanding, widened in slow horror as she tore it open, the paper whispering like a secret finally escaping. "Resignation," she whispered, her voice cracking like thin ice underfoot. In that instant, the air thickened with unspoken regrets, and I felt a savage twist of satisfaction mingle with the ache of betrayal, because this was a moment she realized she'd chosen wrong, picked her worthless boyfriend over the one person who'd built everything with her. It started innocuously enough, 6 months ago, in the dim glow of our startup's cramped office loft. The city lights flickered through rain-streaked windows, casting watery shadows on the exposed brick walls. Elena and I had been grinding through another late-night strategy session, our laptops humming like weary companions. We'd founded the company together 3 years prior, her the visionary CEO with a magnetic charm, me the steadfast COO handling the gritty details. Our partnership was more than professional. It was a bond forged in sleepless nights and shared triumphs, laced with an undercurrent of something deeper, unspoken. I'd catch her glancing at me across the room, her smile lingering a beat too long, and I'd rationalize it as camaraderie. But deep down, I knew it was more trust, reliance, maybe even affection. That's when Mark slithered back into her life. Her ex, the deadbeat she'd dumped before we launched the business, reappeared like a bad habit. I remembered the first red flag, a Friday evening when she canceled our usual post-work debrief over Thai takeout. "Mark's in town," she texted, casual as if mentioning the weather. I stared at my phone in the empty office, the fluorescent buzz overhead amplifying my sudden solitude. Why him? He'd drained her emotionally before, bouncing between odd jobs and excuses, always promising change that never came. But Elena, with her fierce loyalty, saw potential in broken things. I pushed down the jealousy, telling myself it was none of my business. After all, we weren't together, not officially. Yet the way she'd lean on my shoulder during tough pitches, or text me late at night with vulnerable confessions, made the lines blur. Subtle hints piled up like unpaid bills. One morning, I noticed a desk cluttered with unfamiliar receipts, dinner tabs from upscale spots we couldn't afford on our bootstrap budget. Client meetings. I asked lightly, handing her a coffee. She hesitated, her manicured nails tapping the mug. "Yeah, something like that," she replied, avoiding my eyes. Her laugh was forced, a brittle sound that echoed in my gut. I wanted to press, but doubt crept in. Was I overstepping? Our partnership thrived on trust. Questioning her felt like betrayal itself. Still, that night, alone in my apartment with a distant wail of sirens piercing the silence, I replayed her words. Confusion gnawed at me. Why the evasion? Love, I suppose, made fools of us all. The unease simmered as Mark became a fixture. He'd show up unannounced, lounging in the lobby with his unkempt beard and faded band tee, reeking of stale smoke. "Just waiting for Elle," he'd say with a lazy grin, eyes darting to our sleek monitors like he was appraising valuables. Elena would emerge, flushed and apologetic, ushering him away. "He's going through a rough patch," she confided later, her hand brushing mine in a gesture that sent mixed signals. "I owe him a chance." Guilt flickered in her expression, but so did defiance. I nodded, swallowing my anger, rationalizing that her compassion was what made her brilliant. But inside, fear coiled. What if this pulled her away from us? From me? The cracks widened during our quarterly financial review. I pored over the spreadsheets in the quiet hum of the server room, the cool air raising goosebumps on my arms. Anomalies jumped out. Small withdrawals labeled miscellaneous expenses, totaling thousands. My stomach dropped like a stone in water. Tracing them back, I found transfers to an account in Mark's name. Heart pounding, I confronted her in the break room, the scent of burnt coffee hanging heavy. "Elena, what's this?" "Company funds to Mark." My voice was low, laced with hurt. She froze, coffee cup midway to her lips. "It's a loan. Temporary. He's starting a side gig," and I thought, her words tumbled out, defensive yet pleading. "You know how hard it is out there." I didn't want to burden the team. Burden the team? The lie stung like salt in a wound. This wasn't just money. It was our sweat, our future, siphoned to prop up a parasite of boyfriend. Anger surged, hot and blinding, but beneath it lurked heartbreak, the realization that she'd chosen him over our shared dream. "You lied to me," I said, voice breaking. "To all of us." Tears welled in her eyes, her face crumpling like tissue paper. "I love him, okay? Despite everything. And you're my rock, but this is personal." The words hung there, a confession wrapped in excuse. Guilt shadowed her features. She knew it was wrong, but love's denial blinded her. I stormed out, the door slamming with a reverberation that mirrored my shattered trust. That night, pacing my dim living room, shadows dancing from the TV's muted glow, I wrestled with moral conflict. Report her? Stay and fix it? Fear of losing her, of losing everything, warred with righteous fury. The slow unraveling peaked 2 weeks later. Auditing deeper, I uncovered emails, her promising Mark more investments, him replying with flippant thanks and demand for extra. It wasn't just funds, it was embezzlement veiled as aid. Confusion gave way to raw pain. How could she, the woman I'd idolized, rationalize this? Her motivations were clear now, a toxic mix of lingering affection and fear of loneliness, making her complicit in his laziness. But it didn't excuse a betrayal of our partnership, of me. I drafted the resignation that night, fingers flying over keys in a haze of denial and resolve. Handing it in the next morning, I expected relief. Instead, her reaction shattered me. She crumpled against her desk, sobs racking her frame. "You can't leave. Please. I need you." Her voice was raw, desperate. But it was too late. The trust was irreparable. As I walked out, the twist hit, an anonymous tip I'd sent to the board about the discrepancies. They'd investigate, expose her choices, not out of vengeance, but justice. In the elevator's descent, her frantic calls buzzed my phone. She'd lost Mark's crutch, the company, and me, all because she picked him. The doors opened to the bustling street, rain slicking the pavement, and for the first time, I felt free. But the ache lingered, a hollow echo of what we'd built and destroyed.